Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Let's Play a Perfect Final Fantasy VII. My name is Jordan. I also go by the nickname Jordan-san. So I'm going to be playing through Final Fantasy VII. We're going to be doing a perfect playthrough, so we'll be showcasing all of the little hidden tips and tricks throughout the game. Um, why am I doing it? Probably because this game means a lot to me. This was a game that I remember coming out as a kid, and with the remake right around the corner, I figure what the heck, this is a good way to motivate myself to play through the game. So if you guys want to do that along with me, then awesome. You can see here that we're going to be playing through on the Nintendo Switch version. The reason that I'm doing that is so that I can take advantage of some of the fast forwarding functions. It's going to be really handy for a lot of the more grindy sections of the game. I will refrain from using battle boosts, though. We're not doing that. That, in my book, is considered cheating. So we're going to stay away from that and enjoy the game. And if you guys ever want me to, or you have any questions about boss fights, just let me know. I can always do a no encounter run so that my team is as weak as possible. And then we can showcase what the boss fights are like in a really difficult state. So if you want to give me any kind of challenges or anything, that'd be sweet too. So let's kick it off here, and we'll get it going. So I want to reference a few of the tools that I'm using to help me as well. So I'm going to be using Absolute Steve's guide from, I believe it is on the GameFAQs forum is where it's been posted for years. So I'm going to trim the fat on it, though, and just point out the things that are relevant as we play through. Another inspiration that I had in making this is the other YouTuber. His name's Laneface. He does a really great 100% walkthrough as well and points out some different things that I was unaware of. So we're going to be using all the resources we can to just bring you guys like the most up-to-date and perfect version of the guide possible. Hopefully you guys don't mind as well. I will be using the fast forward to get through parts of the game, just like anywhere that I find that we could speed this stuff up. We all got lives and stuff to do. I just want to bring you the parts that you really need for a playthrough. I'm not going to run around and talk to all the NPCs. I'm only going to talk to the necessary ones. I don't want to waste any of your time. If you do, I mean, I'm sure there's versions out there of like full movie versions of the game if you care about that. But I'm just going to get us down to the business. There is one thing I can mention too, that this game is notorious for having a lot of different opinions on what a 100% playthrough is. I'll point out all of the different choices that you have throughout the game so that you guys can make your best determination, and I'm going to play through my best determination, and everybody can do their own thing the way they want to. So right out the gate here, we're going to jump off the train and meet these two soldiers that have been taken out by part of our crew. The very first thing I'm going to do is jump right into the menu and just make some configuration changes and kind of talk about that really quickly. So we're going to jump into the menu, go to config. I'm going to crank the battle speed all the way up. We're going to turn ATB on active. I'm going to put the cursor on memory. I prefer memory, and I'll go over that a little bit later as well. We're going to leave battle messages where it's at, and the only thing, we might change battle speed and field message throughout the game. I'll go there too and let you guys know what's going on. So very first thing we want to do is pick up 2 potions from this downed guard here. You can pick them both up from either guard, or you can just pick them both up from the same guard there. I'm just going to go ahead and hold the attack button here, and we'll just knock out these MPs. So these guys are like your standard base enemy. They die in one attack, and they can sometimes drop a potion. Cool. I'm also going to hit the select button. Now, because I'm on the Switch, I'm going to hit minus. This is going to give us indicators on where the rooms are as well, so we can just move through the rooms easily. Some of these images are kind of hard to tell where the rooms begin and end. Alright, so we're going to give him our name. I'm going to leave all the default names just for solidarity throughout the game. So we'll just keep it Cloud. And this is Barrett. So, fun fact, the two characters there, there's Biggs and Wedge, and there's also Jesse. Biggs and Wedge are a little naming homage to the Star Wars characters Biggs and Wedge. Alright, come across some more MPs. We'll just take these guys out real quick. Alright, so Barrett's going to join our party. The very first thing we're going to do is come down to order here and double click on Barrett. We're just going to move him into the back row. In this game, there's front and back row. Barrett being in the back row because he's a ranged character, he'll be able to do full damage while taking reduced physical damage from any non-ranged character by being in the back row. We'll go over rows a little bit more here and there as we take advantage of them throughout the game, but because Cloud is a melee character, he's going to be in the front and Barrett's going to be in the back. And we'll talk to Biggs and Jesse here to get them to open the doors for us. And we have an item in the room below. So, Cloud is clearly a member of Soldier, or ex-Soldier. So he used to be in like one of the most elite squads, and now he is with this like eco-terrorist group taking out this reactor. These guys are, doing what they believe is right, and they think that, Shinra is basically sucking the lifeblood of the planet out. So they're trying to take him out to protect the planet, basically. And Barrett is like the leader of this resistance group. Cool. So now we just have to head all the way down here. So these enemies here, these guys are called First Rays. They're actually weak to lightning, so Cloud actually has a lightning materia equipped, but they also just die in one hit, so we'll just take them out. And they don't drop any kind of items. So with that select function on, there's also that little hand over Cloud's head, as well as you can see these green triangles. These are like interactable ladders and whatnot. We'll go ahead and pick up this potion and then head down. So we're getting a few different enemies here. We have some grunts. They're also in the front row, so we're going to let Cloud take them out, and we'll have Barrett take out these mono drives, which are in the back row there. If Cloud was to attack them, since he's melee, he would do reduced damage, whereas Barrett can get the full damage off on them. The grunts can drop potions, the mono drives can drop potions, and they can rarely drop ethers, which are super valuable, so that would be lovely if we got any. Of course we didn't. They're super rare. They're like a 4% something drop. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip the save point, but I highly recommend making a save every chance you can and making multiple save files as you play through this game. We're going to pick up this restore materia, and then we're also going to put Cloud in the back row right before we do this boss battle. So I'll kind of show you guys why in just a moment. So Cloud's having some kind of like voice that he's hearing or something. So we start to see Cloud has a little bit more to his character than we know of so far. Alright, so this is the very first boss battle of the game. This is the Guard Scorpion. What we're going to do is have Barret attack and Cloud use Bolt. This enemy is a mech style enemy, so he's going to be weak to lightning. This boss goes through a series of attacks in basically an attacking pattern. So he'll very first use Search Scope and target an enemy. That'll be who he uses his next attack on. Then he'll use either like his rifle attack or his like tail attack. And then he'll pick up his tail, and we'll see some dialogue on screen then. Basically, if we hit the boss while his tail is raised, he'll counterattack with a move that hits both of our characters pretty hard. You know, taking one is okay. Taking multiples starts to get a little ridiculous. So the game expects you to wait, and they're kind of demonstrating to you this active battle style where, you know, the characters... And so here I already queued up an attack with Barret, so Barret's going to go ahead and hit the boss. The boss is going to counterattack with his tail laser move. And then we'll go ahead and hold off until... So you'll see the damage that it deals, and you'll see that our character's limit bars go up based on the damage that they receive. So that pushed Barret up to his limit. So now before we use his limit, we'll go ahead and just wait for the boss to start to put his tail down, and then we'll hit him with Big Shot. Barret's limit's a single target move that hits pretty hard. And then we'll queue up another bolt here, yep. And then we're back into that rhythm. So I'll go over limits here now as well. So your limit bar, again, it builds up as you take damage. There are a few things that can manipulate that throughout the game, some status effects and whatnot. And the more you use your limits, the more you'll learn new limit breaks throughout the game. And the more characters KO enemies, the more limits they learn throughout the game, and we'll cover that later. So we got 10 AP. We got an assault gun, which is going to be a weapon for Barret. So we get 10 minutes till this whole place explodes. So even while you're in your menu here, it actually consumes time. So we're going to quickly equip Barret with his improved weapon, and we'll put Cloud back in the front row so he can do full damage. The reason why we had Cloud in the back row is because we knew that he was just going to be spamming Bolt, which is a ranged move, and did not matter if he was in the front or in the back row. Actually, it just reduced the damage that the boss would deal while we still got to do full damage. Here we have come across a new enemy. This guy's name is Sweeper. He's the mech. So he's weak to lightning, so we queued up a bolt there. And that popped off Cloud's limit break, so we'll let him use Braver and remove that guy. The Sweepers, I'm not sure if I already said this, but they cannot drop any items. But each one of those grunts dropped us a potion, which is cool. So we'll go ahead and... We're basically going to leave the way we came in. We are going to talk to Jessie here before we leave, otherwise you cannot leave. So her leg got stuck. We're going to help her out. And so here's a back attack. If you quickly tap run, as I did there, your characters will reverse their order so that they don't take back damage. So here, because Cloud is now in the back row as opposed to being in the front row, he'll take reduced damage, but he'll also deal less damage. So I'm using Cloud's Bolt to do the maximum amount of damage on these enemies, so that I don't have to take 2 turns to deal the same amount of damage with my physical attack. And then, although Barret's taking more damage, he still dealt the same amount of damage. We just dished out some attacks and took out the grunts in the mono drive. So we're going to go ahead and talk to Jesse and then Biggs. And we're almost out. Now Barrett actually does just about the exact same damage as Cloud now that he got that weapon improvement as well. And this is the first reactor. We've got to help Jesse one more time. And as Avalanche, we have sent a message. Honestly, my favorite part about using the fast forward function is that it actually doesn't speed up the music, which was, thank God they did that. Okay, so I'm going to take a moment here to explain something to you guys, and this is kind of a spoiler, but this game's been out for God knows how long, 15, 20 years, so get over it, basically. There is a mechanic throughout this game, which is a date mechanic. There are basically 4 characters that you can go out on a date with, and those characters are Eris, Tifa, Yuffie, or Barrett. And a lot of the dialogue options that you guys will get throughout this game will determine which character you go out on a date with. That date has 0 influence over any kind of perfect game. You don't get any items from it. It's simply a scene. A lot of people care about it, though, so you can choose to sway the conversation towards a specific character so that you can see that date scene. But at the end of the day, it doesn't impact the perfection version that you're going for. I will point out to you guys, though, all the moments and their influences over the characters throughout the game, though, just so that you're aware. So this is our first interaction with that scene. This is the flower girl. She says, "Excuse me." We have 2 options here. If you want to go out on a date with Eris or Yuffie, then go ahead and say you better get out of here. If you want to go on a date with Tifa or Barrett, go ahead and say nothing, hey. I'm going to be aiming for a date with Tifa, so we'll be going that route. And once again, if you want to go out on a date with Tifa or Barrett, say don't see many flowers around here. Otherwise, say never mind, and it'll end the conversation as well. She'll say there are only 1 gil. Again, if you want to date Tifa and Barrett, say buy 1. If you don't want to and you want to cancel this interaction, just go ahead and forget it. So, only costs 1 gil, and we're aiming for Tifa, so we'll go ahead and buy it. And that's the end of that interaction. Now, as we head down, there's a potion right here. Make sure you pick that up. And as we head into this next screen, we'll have some optional battles. I'm going to go ahead and choose later to run away from these battles. Some people like to do them just because they're easy battles for Cloud and they rack up towards his next limit break. I prefer to just run away as we're going to be doing a lot of grinding later anyway, and I feel that it's unnecessary. If you don't quickly make a decision, though, the game will make a decision for you. And Cloud escapes. There's Cloud making an entrance. You'll see a lot of Cloud push away his bangs like that. Kind of gives you a little insight to Barret and Cloud's relationship. Alright, so we're taking the train back to our hideout. So we need to come down here and talk to Jesse. So we see that there's reactors all the way up to number 8. So after this flash security check, you'll actually have the option here to talk to Jesse if you'd like to again. You have some dialogue options here. You can say, looking forward to it. This actually negatively impacts Tifa. It's a -3 to Tifa's affection. Or you can just say, thanks anyway, and do nothing. Now we'll go ahead and talk to Barret. Alright, so we'll meet up with the gang for just a quick second here. Barret gives us some orders. So you have a little bit of freedom here. If you want to, you can move over to the screen to the right, which is right here. This area you can farm some random encounters, but we're actually going to come back to that as soon as we get 2 more party members, so there's no point in doing it at right this moment. So go ahead and just follow along. We're going to come over here to the left. I'll let you guys know before your last opportunity to farm there. And I'm going to go ahead and make a save. And that is going to be the end of the very first episode. I'll see you guys in the next one.